You cheated, Batman. You couldn't have outsmarted
Hello,
me.
everyone, and welcome to Rob's Rogues in the Batman universe. And today we're taking a look at the fourth and final figure in the DC Comic Designer series, the Greg Capullo action figure. It is, of course, the Riddler. So now it's taken me a few weeks, but I've managed to pick all four of them up, and we'll look at all four of them together. But I'm really hoping that this will be the one figure. I believe the Talon was also almost flawless. I think I had a tiny little speck of gold like on his neck, which is, obviously very, very minor, and a kind of a loose ankle, not even remotely horribly loose. But I'm really hoping the Riddler suffers from no paint QC problems, which, again, like I've said before in some of my previous videos, a human being is painting them, so no, I don't think that anything is ever going to be 100% perfect, at least in the painting department. But when you are putting the figures together and you're putting tab A into slot B, I do expect those to be perfect. So right away, when I picked this up, I didn't notice it in the comic book store, but can you see his left arm right here? Can you see the elbow joint right there? So if you were to bend that elbow joint, that arm would go backwards. What I'm hoping is when they put him in the package, you could see the way his hand is backwards too. So I'm hoping, and I think this is probably just the case, because you see the buttons on his jacket. It looks like this arm, at least at the joint right here, is just turned around. Like they put him in backwards and somebody forgot to spin the arm around. So I'm almost positive that's the way it is. Because you can see on the back here, you have the flat hand on the right. And there's the flat or kind of open hand. And on the left, you have the hand that looks like it's holding the cane here. And you don't see the buttons right now. So I'm assuming that's on the other side. So we've already seen the packaging. There is the side panel art from Batman here, Greg Capullo. This is actually from Death of the Family, and I have the actual issue. I found the exact spot that this is. So here's from Death of the Family, the first time we see the Riddler in the New 52. So there he is right there. And that's the look. So that was from Death of the Family. Like I said, the current storyline with the Riddler right now is 0 year. I can show you that real quick of what the Riddler looks like before the New 52, or before, the current timeline. This is kind of going back in Batman's past, so a little different, but this is the first incarnation of the Riddler. So anyway, now that we've kind of got the look of the comics and everything else out of the way, let's get this guy out of package, and let's just hope that all it is that the arm is accidentally turned in the package when they put him in. So we'll get the Riddler out of the package, we'll take a look at him, and all the figures that made up this very first wave of the Capullo series. We will be right back. All right, we got the Riddler out of package. There'll be a bonus scene at the end of the video after the credits. I'll have a little end credit scene involving a scary moment for this Riddler. I just keep having these little tiny problems with this line, but as you could tell, everything is perfectly fine now. So watch after the credits. You'll see what I did, or I will talk to you about what I did that I normally don't do, but I was getting antsy. I wanted to get him out of the package, and you'll see. The Riddler. I really like this figure right out of the package. It reminds me of the Black Mask figure from the Arkham Origins line, as far as the amount of articulation or the lack of articulation that it has, or that it doesn't have, rather. So we've had a Riddler previously from DC Collectibles, and I have him right off to the side over here. We'll see in just a little bit. That has articulation like I think he should, like this one should have. So we'll see, but I've seen some people get him in some cool poses with this cane, so I tried to do a Jim Carrey-esque one, and like the Riddler saying, "Come to me. Can you defeat me, Batman? Can you defeat my riddles? I don't know if anybody else does this, but since I was somebody that kind of grew up, I shouldn't say grew up, I was a senior in high school in 92, 93 when the animated series came out. But, I never missed an episode. I have all of them on DVD. And anytime that I'm reading Batman comics after that point, I hear the voices of those animated series characters anytime that I read a comic. And I'm always hearing the Riddler's voice in the animated series. Every now and then, as I'm reading the comics, I'll hear, the Arkham Asylum, City, and Origins Riddler voice. But generally, I think of the animated series. That's for a lot of the Batman characters. But anyway, I digress. I really like the sculpt of this. We looked at some of the imagery already, and I'm liking it. Like it a lot. I think this is a nice figure to end the wave on. Just a really well sculpted figure. A little stiff in some of the joint department, but I think we would rather have stiff joints than joints that don't move at all. So let's look at the face here. I really like... this is one of those ones that you can definitely tell that this is a Greg Capullo sculpt. Not that you can't tell the other ones, but this is just done so very well. As far as the face sculpt, out of all of them, I guess you can kind of count Talon. He really didn't have a face sculpt. But Batman and Nightwing, as far as the human being face sculpt, the Riddler might be the best of the whole series so far as the likeness of the face, where you can look at it and go, that's definitely Greg Capullo. I mean, not that you can't tell that Batman and Nightwing are drawn by Capullo, but Jonathan Matthews just did a great job of sculpting this figure. And all of them, for that matter. But if I had to pick one that was my favorite sculpt out of all of them, at least in the face region, it'll be the Riddler. Very simple suit. This would be a great suit to do some customizing with. Be it a Alfred, Bruce Wayne, all kinds of stuff. Very, very cool. So, what I'm going to do right now is, because I'm looking at the light on my camera here, or the indicator that says, hey Rob, you're running out of film. So what I'm going to do is make some space, and we will be right back, and we will get into the articulation of this figure. Hold tight. Alright, we're back here. I just deleted 62 minutes off the camera. I have a habit of filming a lot of stuff and keeping things on the camera and then making the videos, and then forgetting that, hey, I already uploaded the video to YouTube. I don't need to keep it on the camera. So anyway, let's get on to the articulation. The Riddler has a really, really good ball joint on his head, almost as if it could come off. It is so good, but it's on here really good. Can get some really good animated poses, animated series poses, if you will, out of the Riddler. You won't be able to stop me, Batman. No, I don't think you will. So yeah, he gets a good amount of rotation. A nice ball joint, a clear ball joint. It's almost as if I know what the ball joint looks like. The suit is very much like Black Mask's. It's rubbery, so I would imagine that under all of this, everything I would think is probably sculpted of some type. So if you were to cut this open, you could probably see the vest work. Not that you'd want to or anything like that. But, nice rubbery. There is... Oh, you know what? I didn't think there was. He was a little stiff. So apparently he can turn. So now that we're seeing that, there is no... Let's see, before I say there's no ab crunch. I figured there was no ab crunch the way the jacket was. But he can turn, since we're on to that. So we know the head turns. The waist turns. The arms go in a full 360. And the cane's going to hit him in the rear. There is no hinge or anything like that, or ball and socket up here, which I'm a little disappointed on, that they make people in suits look like this, almost all the people in suits, and you'll see in just a little bit. I do have somebody that's a suited figure that happens to be wearing green and has question marks that can move his shoulders. Anyway, he has a swivel up at the bicep swivel right above the elbow. He has a single jointed elbow, and has wrist rotation. So as you get a certain bit past into the collar here, or the sleeve of the jacket, it doesn't hinder it. The wrist just gets a little bit tighter, but again, that's all right. Again, the waist swivel, which it was a little bit stiff on my first initial playing with the figure. I didn't find it at first. The legs just go forward and back. There is no in and out. A single bend at the knee, and a pivot and swivel at the I want to say boot, but it's the loafers, the purple loafers of the Riddler. So decent articulation. I mean, it's the Riddler, so even if you're going to put them in some type of pose where, I mean, the Riddler's not a brawler. He's going to have henchmen do his fighting, so it's not like you're going to get him into a punching stance, maybe him getting punched in the face and falling over. So you could replicate that, but it's going to be more of the mocking and trying to outsmart Batman type poses that you would get your Riddler in. He does come with one accessory, and it is the cane, the very Jim Carrey-esque cane, and it's really flimsy. I was thinking of using my DC Universe Classics Riddler cane, but I'm not entirely sure it's going to fit into this hand in here. It's a really small slit, if you could see that. But what's nice about it, it looks like it just kind of goes in like that. But inside the hand, hopefully you can see this. Let me get it some light here. There we go, Rob. By moving the cane, do it this way, back into the fingers, he's now able to hold the cane straight. So there it's kind of wobbly, and they have the fingers sculpted just right. If you have the question mark one way or the other, actually more of the question mark facing towards you, there we go, or towards the Riddler, he can hold it much, much better. Muy, muy better. So what we're going to do, let's bring up somebody else to compare him with, shall we? Who am I going to bring him up with? That is the riddle. Riddle, what is better than one riddle? Two riddlers. It's the Riddler from the Arkham City, I must have said Arkham City, Arkham Origins game. All the Arkham games, but this was as depicted in the Batman Arkham City video game. So I kind of had him in a pose from the video game here in his hat. The hat does not come off on that Riddler, does in this one. So this is a Riddler that has shoulder articulation. So he has the shoulder articulation, but doesn't have a swivel of any type. Has a few other little bits of articulation. Again, you can go back through the reviews and see me review him if you would like to do so. This was one of my favorite Riddlers, and I still think he is probably one of my favorite. I just like the video game so much. But the Capullo Riddler is really growing on me, and I'm really digging this Riddler. Both of them really good. Two different universes. Let's take a look at another Riddler, and the classic Riddler from the DC Universe Classics. I believe this is the Wave 16, the Build-A-Figure Bane wave. The canes are, I mean, really kind of similar. I believe this Riddler really did not have a cane back in the day. I could be wrong, but I think this is generally used from the suited Riddler that was in an early part of the DC Universe Classics wave. They just thought, hey, the Riddler has to have a cane. But traditionally, I don't think that he did. And the cane was just made popular from the Batman Forever movie that kind of found its way into the animated series and all that type of stuff. So initially, I was thinking about swapping the canes out, but this one seems to be holding pretty well. And this is a nice, bright gold. So mine's not bent. I have seen some that are warped and people have to kind of straighten them, but it's not bad. So, you know, I don't have a whole lot of Riddlers, but I have 3 to choose from. All right, I really like this Riddler. Nice, bright green, kind of a brighter, like it should be in the comics. The Arkham City, of course, it's supposed to be dingy, dark prison, so I could see why the Riddler's suit may be a little bit more dingier, but it reminds me of the DC Universe Classics Riddler, the nice, bright comic book color green. And this is going to look really, really good with the other figures from the line. So what I'd like to do, normally at this point I'd bring up the other figures excuse me, kind of set them around the Riddler. But I have a little display that it's nothing real impressive yet, but the three other figures are downstairs in my computer room where you're seeing the Rogue show and my live videos. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go downstairs and we will look at the Riddler with the other figures, and hopefully I have enough light in there so you can see the Riddler. Alright, here we are downstairs. This is the back wall of my computer room and action figure room here. So we can see you've got the Riddler up here on this side next to Dick Grayson Nightwing, against the backdrop of my Batman Eternal poster that I just recently picked up. Thank you, eBay. But there we can see the Dark Knight Rises bat signal. Thought this would be pretty good. I don't know how long I'll be able to keep this here with the other figures once I start maybe getting a few more from this series. There, of course, is Batman and Talon. I did have the Talon kind of tucked away behind the bat signal to kind of make it look like, ooh, he was sneaking up on him. But this is kind of how I have this shelf, kind of setting at the moment. I think I may put Nightwing in a little different pose. I have Batman here kind of ready to go. I really, really like this wave. This was a wave of figures that I know a lot of people were excited about, and seeing that Greg Capullo was helping design the series, or a series was going to be designed off of his artwork, is just fan-friggin-tastic in my book. Yes, I had a couple QC issues, but for the most part this has been a really, really good wave. This is the replacement Nightwing right here. He's got a perfect torso turn that turns now. His crotch is completely together. So I did have a quick little review for that figure, but I'm not entirely sure I'm going to put that up yet or not. I haven't decided. Maybe you can let me know if you want to see the quick little replacement video. But wave 2 of this Capullo series will have like the armored Batman, the mech Batman from the Court of the Owls line with a removable head, so you can have a Bruce Wayne head on it, which maybe would work really good to put a Bruce Wayne head on this body and paint the suit black. Who knows? Catwoman is in that wave, Mr. Freeze, and 2 Red Hoods. The only 2 I'm going to get from that wave are Catwoman and Mr. Freeze. So the mech Batman was a little bit more expensive, and the Red Hood figures, and I don't mean Red Hood Jason Todd, I mean Red Hood Joker and Red Hood Goons. I don't know entirely if I really want those figures. Maybe at some point I'll pick them up, but initially I'm only going to get those 2 figures in the wave. So we'll head right back upstairs and we will finish the end of the Riddler's review, and stay tuned afterwards for kind of what happened to the Riddler once I got him out of package. We'll see you in a little bit. Alright, today we've been taking a look at the final figure, figure number 4 from the DC Comics Designer Series, the Greg Capullo action figure. It is, of course, the Riddler, Edward Nygma himself. And as always, this has been Rob for Rob's Rogues and the Batman Universe, signing off saying we will see you guys next time. Okay, this will be the B-reel, the very end of the review here. The head came off. Now, what I didn't do was do my normal cut the back of the package out. Normally, I'll cut little relief marks somewhere around in here so I can open this up. What I did do is I did what I said I don't normally do. I pushed the figure, and it caused the head to bend and pop the head off. So I'm kind of out of the light here. Now hopefully you can see this if I can zoom in the camera here. It's the clear ball pin, so it looks like this just, there's nothing appears to be broken. So I think this just gets forced back down in. There we go. The head works just fine. So that had me a little bit worried there. And again, I did what I said I was never going to do, and I always cut the relief marks. So that will teach me for getting anxious and not taking those couple extra seconds to get the figure out of the package the right way. So what we're going to do right now, is actually film the review. So thanks for watching this little bit here, and now we'll be on with the review.
Rob?